Welcome to the Diary of a Beautician. This is your host Shah. Tune in every Sunday at 9 p.m. to listen to my podcast from the health and beauty industry via my website. At a later stage, it'll be available to download from Spotify and the website. I discuss on my podcast various topics, stories, news, educational and historical content. Please head over to my website and subscribe to some great monthly content sent to you as a newsletter. You can also book my services for the latest treatments from the comfort of your own home. Website address is www.shashalondon.co.uk. You can also follow me on social networks, Instagram at sslondon84, Facebook shashalondon, Twitter shashalondon. I'm also on LinkedIn as shashalondon. If you have any questions, feel free to send them to my social media platforms, or you can email me at shashalondoninfo@gmail.com. So guys, welcome back. This is week 5, episode 5. Thank you to everyone who has been tuning in each week to listen to my content. I hope everyone is enjoying it. And if this is your first time ever listening to me, welcome. I hope you enjoy my content and what I am bringing to you today. So, if it's the first time you're joining, I tend to do a little story time about my history of working in the beauty industry, and kind of go into the actual topic of discussion. I also like to put in some fact finders in there as well. So yeah, I try to make it as enjoyable content for you to listen to. So this week content I will be talking about, we'll be discussing pigmentation and hyperpigmentation. So for those who don't know what pigmentation and hyperpigmentation is, I will be going over them briefly. I always advise people to have a look online. If you're suffering with any of these things, do see your general practitioner, that's GP, or if you're not seeing your GP, you'll see your herbalist. Okay. Sometimes when you do tend to look online, there's so much information and it can be overwhelming, and sometimes can be confusing. So try and speak to a professional about whatever it is that you're suffering with, or conditions or illnesses you're suffering with, to get a professional advice standpoint. If you're not comfortable with a GP, as I said, you can always see a herbalist who can advise you for treatment. Okay. So pigmentation. So pigmentation refers to the color of the person's skin. So I say usually the tone of the person's skin or their complexion of their skin, right? So I would look at it from the 3 main races. Now, some people say there's 4. I say 3. There we go. Each their own. I've broken it down into 3 main races. So you have the Negroids, you have the Caucasoid, or you have the Mongoloid. Okay, so the Negro is going to be what people classify Negro people as black. Okay, then you have the Caucasoid classification is white. Then you have the Mongoloid, which is Asian. Okay, so with the Negroid, I would say the complexion, the tone, the color varies. So in all 3, the complexion, the tone varies. So with the Negroid, you can have someone who's very, very light in complexion. So they may look like, let's try and think of a Maya, the singer Maya, who's really quite light, quite fair. Or you can go all the way through to like a Beyonce, Serena Williams, Sierra, various complexion tones that I'm trying to describe you over the podcast. So you kind of can refer to what I'm actually talking about. So you've got various of tones, various complexions throughout the Negroid race. And people classify Negroids as black, but they vary in varied tones. So as I said, you can say like a caramel complexion, a warm honey tone, copper color, dark browns, chocolate color. It varies. Okay, then you go into your Caucasoid, your Caucasians, right? So they again vary, so it can be really quite fair as, you know, white, like white, pale pink, blue, green undertones. So let's have a look. You've got Adele, who's very quite pale. She's a singer as well. Then you've got, say, gosh, I'm trying to think who else you could put into the mix. Then you've got Kate. Okay, so Kate, part of the royal family. Then you can say, I'm trying to think who else would be. Then you've got like, I'm trying to think of a singer that you can kind of think. And there's someone with like a ginger hair. So you've got like 3 different variations there. You've got Adele, who's got blonde hair. You've got Kate, who's got like a brunette hair. Then you've got someone who's got a ginger hair. For the life of me, I can't think who's got ginger hair to refer to. But you kind of get my drift, okay? Then you've got the Mongoloid complexion. You've got, oh gosh, it's going to be really tough. No, okay. So let's say Lucy Liu. She's an actress. Olive tone, dark black hair. Then you've got, oh gosh, then you've got like an Asian skin, so then it's going to be a little bit darker now with undertone, warm honey tone. And then who else can I put in the mix with it? Like, so again, the Mongoloid is kind of variation. You've got, so like Lucy Liu, who's more like the pale tone, looks similar to a Caucasian tone, skin tone, but has a little bit more pinker tone in their skin. And then you can go all the way up into a darker, deeper tan complexion, of Asian skin, like an Asian actor and actress. Okay, so there's variations of tones and complexions and skin types that reflects, as I say, as we're going to talk about pigmentation, right? So that's what we're talking about, the pigment. So the pigment itself is created by the melanin that you produce within you. So when you were created by your lovely parents, the melanin is the factor that creates the pigment on your skin. Okay, so if you're darker, you have more melanocytes inside of you. You have more melanin in you than say someone who is of a Caucasian or Mongoloid race. Okay, so that's a little information there to kind of understand. You as a darker person, Negroid race, are producing more melanin, where someone from a Caucasian or melanoid background will have a little less melanin in them. Okay, so that's just kind of describing the pigmentation of things. Okay, so hyperpigmentation is caused, so that is where your skin starts to darken. Okay, so you have your complexion, you have your various complexions that I've described, and the hyperpigmentation comes into effect when something's going on in the body. Okay, so I always, when I talk about the outer part of the body, I also talk about the inside of you, say your interior, your inside, your organs and things that's going on inside of you. If you're unwell, your body will reflect it on the outside of you. Okay, so hyperpigmentation is where the skin becomes darker, okay, and can create various patches, blotches over the body. Okay, so if someone's going through some type of thyroid issue, or yeah, that's a perfect one. Someone's going through some type of thyroid issue, sometimes you can see that their neck is getting darker than other parts of the body, right? Say if someone is like a woman, pregnancy, if a woman's going through pregnancy, some women tend to experience darker patches on their face or some parts of the body. Okay, I think they call that melasma or something like that, where your body's going through obviously, as I said, going through the pregnancy, you'll start to develop that type of patch. It doesn't happen to everyone, it happens to some women. Okay, so that's an example, or two examples of what hyperpigmentation is. Okay. And it doesn't, if someone's like said if it hurts no, it doesn't hurt. As I said, it's just some type of discoloration to the skin. And as I said, sometimes it is a underlying issue going on internally with your body. So if you're seeing something, seeing your complexion, your tone, the color of your skin starting to change in a particular area or all over, I mean, there are other conditions like vertigo, and I think I mentioned that probably in episode 3 or 2, cannot remember now, but if you follow me, you'll know where I'm going. So vertigo is again another condition of the skin, where the skin is turning lighter. So if you are a Negroid race, it does happen to Mongoloids, and I have not seen it in Caucasian people, but I've seen it more so in Negroids and Mongoloid race. So where the skin starts to get lighter, so there'll be like a patch where it's starting to look more of a Caucasian skin, and the patch can spread all over the body. Okay, it's a condition, it's a disease of the skin. But with regards to that, it's not a hyperpigmentation issue, or it is a pigment issue, but it's something else. So hyperpigmentation, it's just like it's an affecting the top layer of the skin. So the melanin in the skin is being affected to some degree, but it's not creating a complete blank canvas. So when I say blank canvas, it's not completely removing all the melanin in the pigment of the skin. The hyperpigmentation is darkening the skin. So with the vertigo, the skin's becoming lighter, right? But with the hyperpigmentation, the skin's becoming darker. Okay, so hopefully that's kind of made a little bit more clearer about the difference of the skin, and if someone was to ask about that. So yeah, pigmentation is the complexion of your skin, and as I said, there's so many variations of complexions and tones and skin tones, and it's beautiful, like, to see the variations and the different contrasts of complexions of skin, especially in the industry that I'm in. And sometimes it can be a little bit challenging because the industry that I'm in doesn't provide all the necessary products or services for every complexion. So for example, I'm currently learning about IPL and laser, but that's going to be for another episode. And when they were creating these machines that help with rejuvenating the skin, for like facials and removing unwanted hairs, and when they made these type of machineries, they weren't inclusive of every complexion. So most IPLs and lasers are only available for Caucasians and Mongoloid races. I'm not going to say there isn't. When it first came out, it was only available for that particular race, but now there are machines available for like Negro races as well. So it's great because it's making it inclusive to all, because for all, many of us have similar experiences like unwanted hairs and requires skin rejuvenations and stuff like that. Yeah, as I said, that as I work in the industry like that, using machineries like that, and seeing the development of machinery that's including everyone, is fantastic. Again, there are some things like products as well. Some of the products can be, it doesn't automatically work for someone with darker skin as opposed to someone with a lighter skin or from a different type of race. Again, it's what the person or who the persons are developing the products for, who's their market. That's what I really should be saying. Who is their target market? And who are they reflecting when they're making these products and services? And as I said, as time is going on, and myself being a beauty therapist, a beautician, I'm always an advocate in this segment, in this industry, saying, look, we need more products and services and more equipment that we can use, not just one person using it or one particular race using it. We want everybody inclusive in it. And even if you make something and it's not for everyone, then fair enough. But when you've got how many women out there who has unwanted hair, right? And when I mean unwanted hair, is like hair, you don't want hair on your face, you don't want hair under your armpits like that, you know, hair that grows in awkward places that kind of makes you feel somewhat unattractive, or just think, gosh, why has this happened to me? I'm not a guy. Or do you know what I mean? You want those things corrected, and sometimes those type of things are something going on internally. So it's always good to kind of like monitor it and try and seek out some help from someone professionally or herbally to help you with that particular issue. Okay, so pigmentation. So many of us have had pigmentation issues. As I said, I gave 2 examples of how and why and what a person has with regards to the pigmentation. It's a little story. So I had a client who, when I was doing facial, she came to me, she had pigmentation. Her pigmentation was of a Negro descendant, and she had hyperpigmentation on her face. So she was like of a honey tone, so probably like a Beyonce complexion. Let's put it out there, a Beyonce complexion. Out exactly what's going on with the person, and kind of refer them or advise them with the right course of treatment to have. So as I sat down and we went through the consultation, I could see that she used to live in a hot climate and she's now living in a colder climate. She is using different products as well that are not treating the skin the way that I would like it to, and also her what she's eating, how she's living also played a factor. So like I've always said, there's always a numerous factors as to why the body does what it does, but it's just trying to pinpoint why it's actually doing that to the person's skin. So just really going in there and trying to work out what it is and why it's doing this to her. Anyway, so once we've gone through the consultation, and then I go and examine the face or take a look at the skin and provide a treatment, and like a mini treatment just to see how. So I do a little cleanse just to see how the skin reacts to products and stuff like that. And I could see that her skin needed exfoliation, it needed hydration, and it needed protection as well. So the environment she's in does play a factor. Okay, so the environment you're living in can affect the complexion of your skin, from the water to the air to the the other elements. It can play havoc on the skin, and someone listening probably think, gosh, that's how true is that? It is very true. Our body absorbs, it protects, but it also absorbs. And as I said, for her, she lived in a hotter climate. So if I remember now, she lived in Brazil, and it's hot, it's warm. Again, the environment is different, and she's now living in an environment where it's more colder, a little bit more damper, like, living in the UK, living in London or throughout the UK, it is colder because we're in the northern hemisphere. It is damp, the air is damp, and it's not the same. It's just not the same like living all the way down in the of the south equator. So as I said, the change of environment had a factor, and her diet as well. She had a high, she ate a lot of greasy food as well, and that kind of made her skin a little bit imbalanced. So for me, her skin was of combination as well. It was dehydrated as well. It needed exfoliation because, as I said in previous episode with regarding the skin, our skin needed exfoliation, and as we get older we need to exfoliate a little bit more because the skin is not shedding the dead skin cells as often as it did as you was a child or growing up. So you have to aid it by doing a self exfoliation. You can get various scrubs and body scrubs and facial scrubs on the market. You can even get chemical ones now with glycolic and various other kinds. So what I suggested for her was having probably like a mechanical sort of facial where it can also help with the exfoliation, which will help remove the dead skin, which will also apply some type of hydration, so putting some hydrating products into the skin, to also use some type of natural SPF factor as well, because we're going to be doing a lot of work on the skin to remove the dead skin and the melasma on her face. It would be good to protect the skin as well from the UV rays, so not creating any more havoc to the skin, right? So once I had gone through it with the lady, she felt really, she felt assured and she felt calm and she felt excited because there was an actual plan, and she was able, because I like to sit down and be frank with my clients and with people and go through it bit by bit so they themselves can see exactly what I'm talking about. So the consultation is such an important key, folks, and so don't ever stop doing that. My beauty therapists, my beauticians, don't ever stop doing your consultation, because you find out so much about a person through that conversation. So she had a course of over the next 2 to 3 months. Okay, she started, even just after that one treatment she could see a noticeable difference. She could see the skin looking brighter, hydrated, and seeing that the melasma, the darker hyperpigmentation, was kind of not as dark. It seems to be getting brighter. So after the course of treatments that I prescribed her, we was able to get rid of, like, she probably, so we just say of 100%, so 100% covered over her face, and I was able to alleviate about 95% of the melasma on her face, and she was, over the moon, over the moon. And as I said, by about, because that was 3 months, so by about 5 months, she was able to see it completely gone. Now that was her results. And me working with her and her taking care of herself as well. Because remember, I was saying it's also what you're putting inside your body as well, what you're eating and drinking and sleeping as well, and the whole nine. Following that type of plan helped her. For other people, it can take longer. The results can be longer. They could take time. And as I said, when you treat anyone, it's about treating them individually. And that's the problem that I see on the market today. We've got all these products on the market, and it all saying it's all going to do all this for every single one of us, but it's not going to do it for everyone. So we need to be very clear when we're saying this is the latest treatment to remove your hyperpigmentation, your acne, your this. No, you've got to be clear. You've got to say it will treat some, but not all. Okay, it may not work for everyone, but it may work for some. So again, it's always good, and I always say this to everyone, it's always good to speak to an expert. It's always good to go and speak to someone who knows what they're talking about and able to treat the problem that you have, so they can advise you with the right products, with the right treatments, to help alleviate any type of hyperpigmentation. Now, hyperpigmentation can come anywhere on the body. It can develop anywhere. As I said, it can be on the face, it could be on the neck, it could be on the arm, the legs, the stomach. It could be anywhere. But as I said, in her instinct, this story was based upon this woman. It was her face, and it was a change of the environment and products and so on and so on. And as I said earlier on, women who become pregnant develop hyperpigmentation. Someone who probably have going through some type of thyroid issue, again, develops hyperpigmentation, so depending on what's going on with you, it's about analyzing oneself. It's about sitting down and thinking, right, okay, I'm seeing this develop on my body. What do I do? And as I said, just monitor it. Don't become alarmed. Don't panic. Just monitor what's happening. And if it has happened where an area has become darkened, and sometimes you can kind of feel in yourself that you're not feeling 100% well, then go and see a professional, your GP, your herbalist, and ask for advice. As I said, it's one of those things that, like I always speak when I do my shows, it's about getting to know yourself, getting to know why these things are developing or why these things are happening to you. And as I said, don't become alarmed by these things. It could be really just nothing. It could be something, as I said, it could be something that we could dealt with regarding getting a treatment with a beauty therapist or beautician, or it could require you actually seeing somebody, your GP or herbalist. However, it's always good to just be aware and keep an eye on things, right? So some of the remedies that people always ask me for, what can I do if I develop hyperpigmentation? Like, what treatments can I do at home? And there's various things you can do. As I said, there's various products on the market. There's various if you're on social media, you will see abundant of products that you can use. What are really good for hyperpigmentation that you can use at home is aloe vera. Aloe vera is a very good natural ingredient. It comes from a plant, and it helps with any pigmentation issue. So I've seen little babies with skin conditions, like eczema and stuff like that. Even people with eczema and things like that. And that being a skin illness or disease, using the aloe vera gel or aloe vera cream can soothe or relax or calm the irritation, because the eczema is of irritation. It can soothe that area that's become inflamed. Green tea. So green tea or green tea extract is really good to help with, hyperpigmentation at home. So having some green tea once a day, or using products that has green tea extract in it, again, really good with hyperpigmentation. Licorice extract. So a lot of people don't like licorice because they're like, ugh. But it's really good. Again, another thing, good for melasma, good for hyperpigmentation of the skin, and you can get that in products, and you can have it as a tea. I think you can get licorice tea as well, really good. And what else is there? There's various. You've got turmeric as well. Turmeric is a very good product that's good for hyperpigmentation. It is very yellow and very bright, so be very careful when using it because it can stain the hands, the nails, the skin. So again, just be careful. Again, get the information, get the right products that will, someone who knows how to work with it to create, like a mask. Because I know loads of people, I've even done it myself, made a mask with the turmeric, and it has made me look super duper yellow. So again, as I said, just try and find the right products, the right person who could advise you to use the right amount to create your mask and stuff for your at home products to help with any type of hyperpigmentation. So yeah, as I said, there's various issues that can come from the pigment of the skin changing color into hyperpigmentation. And as I said, it could be a numerous thing. Another thing I didn't even mention is medication. Medication can change the complexion, the tone of your skin. Okay, so changing the pigment into hyperpigmentation, medication can be another factor. So someone that's going through some type of treatment like chemo or diabetes, something along those lines, any type of trauma to the body, it can alter the person's skin type. So again, it's just being aware, not alarming, but just being aware, assessing the situation, and then going away to seek out professional help from your GP or herbalist about the hyperpigmentation. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed my content. I hope you found it very informative, and I hope it helps somebody out there with understanding what pigmentation or hyperpigmentation is and how to treat it. Also, another thing I forgot to say. Another sort of treatment that you can have from the beauty industry, you can have either chemical pills, which can help with melasma or hyperpigmentation. You can have microdermabrasion, you can have rejuvenation, you can have dermaplan, you can have there's loads. Yeah, there's loads. There's just loads. From those type of treatments, they are mechanical treatments that you can have, and also physical treatment, because you've got the chemical pill there, which is a physical. And products on the market, oh my goodness, there's loads. There's loads. There's just loads. There's loads of loads you can go through. Because in the industry we use these ones. We use Dermalogica, LMS, Ganot. Oh my goodness, there's loads. There is just loads. So if you go to your local salons, if you go to your spas, they will have products there to help with exfoliation. The salons may have a little bit more chemical products to use, or your clinics. You've got now aesthetic clinics out there now that deal with the chemicals and use machinery. So again, there's loads. IPL machines, that's it. IPL machines deal with skin rejuvenation, help with melasma as well, hyperpigmentation. So yeah, I think I've covered as much as information as I can. But if you have any questions about this week's topic, if there's something I haven't covered in this week's topic, please do notify me. There's things that I don't know that you know that I can implement into my content each week, or update my content each week. So again, thank you for everyone listening. I hope you find it informative, and I will see you guys next week. Bye for now.